Tucson homes are sitting longer, inventory is building, and buyers are starting to gain leverage again. For the past few years, if you were a buyer in Tucson, you didn't really have a strategy. You had to see homes as soon as they hit the market, move fast, compete with multiple offers, then pray to the real estate gods above that your offer got accepted. But now, buyers are slowing down, looking at multiple homes, comparing options, and most importantly, negotiating. Negotiating price, repairs, and additional terms. Some of my clients think it's always just about the money, and for some buyers and sellers, it is. But in addition to price reductions, buyers are also asking for some of their closing costs to be paid, repairs to be completed prior to closing, and requesting that the seller assist in buying down their interest rate. If the home has solar panels that aren't owned outright, the buyers are requesting that the solar be paid off prior to closing on the home, that type of thing. And the reason all of this is happening comes down to one thing: inventory. Inventory is quietly building across Tucson, and inventory drives everything in real estate. When inventory is low, sellers have control. When inventory rises, buyers gain control. And right now, with the combination of resales and massive quantities of new construction, we are clearly moving in that direction. Hey everyone, it's Kimberly, your go-to real estate agent in Tucson, Arizona, and fourth generation Tucson native, and we're talking about what is happening in the Tucson real estate market right now. Tucson is shifting toward a buyer's market, and today we'll explore what's happening with inventory and days on market and how new construction is creating major competition. Stick around to the end because I'll share how I'm negotiating deals right now and what that means for you. If you love Tucson living, neighborhoods, real estate, and discovering what makes this city special, hit the like and subscribe buttons to follow along. And when you or a friend are thinking about buying or selling a home in Tucson, all my contact information is in the description below. All right, let's keep going. Obviously, one of the clearest signs that this market is shifting is that homes are taking longer to sell. In May 2026, the median days on market was 35, but that's a whopping 6 days higher than it was this time last year. That's a lot. And the number of days on market don't lie. It's possible that the home that has been sitting on the market for a very long time is not presented well. Or perhaps the photos look better than the actual home itself. Or the floor plan of the home is not appealing to most buyers. Or the home is higher priced than the competition. Or maybe there's something wrong with it that you can't tell from the pictures, such as road noise or a weird smell in the home. But all of these issues can be overcome with one little change, and that's the price. Lowering the price of the home should bring in more attention to the home, and if it doesn't, it may need to be lowered again. The question is, how low will a seller go with their pricing? Some sellers think that if they lower the price, they will appear desperate. In my experience with my buyers, that's completely untrue. Most of the time, a home that has been on the market for a very long time with no price drops probably indicates that the sellers are not motivated, or that they are difficult to work with, or unreasonable in their pricing. But not all sellers are motivated. A seller who's still living in the home may have less urgency to sell than a seller who's already moved out. And a seller who needs top dollar for their home to pay all their bills may have less motivation to lower the price than a seller who, for example, inherited the home from a relative and who will be pocketing all of the money from the sale without having to put anything into it. The bottom line is this: the longer the home sits, the more a buyer asks, what's wrong with it? Why hasn't it sold? Perception becomes reality very quickly in real estate. Now let's talk about something that a lot of people are missing right now, and this might be the biggest factor in the entire market, and that is new construction. This is the wild card because builders are not just competing on price, they're competing on monthly payment. And that's a huge difference. They're offering interest rate buydowns, closing costs incentives, brand new homes with bumper to bumper warranties, all of which are extremely appealing to pretty much all buyers from all walks of life. From first-time home buyers to families to working professionals to retirees. What's hurting the Tucson market overall is that buyers are comparing resale homes for sale to new builds just down the street, especially in areas like Vail, Sahuarita, and Marana, and even certain parts of Catalina and areas like Red Rock. Your resale home has to offer something special, like space from neighbors or a sparkling swimming pool, to compete against the new construction. It's ironic because during the pandemic, we would have loved to have had more homes for sale when this city was exploding with demand from buyers. But now we have so much new construction and not nearly the same demand. And this is really hurting our sellers. Now let's flip this to buyers for a second. If you're a buyer, this is actually a really interesting opportunity. You now have more choices, more time, more negotiating power, and you can actually step back and think. That alone is a massive shift. But here's where I see buyers make mistakes. They assume this means they can lowball everything. That's not exactly how this market works. I agree that if the home is vacant and if it's been on the market for many months, the seller will probably have more wiggle room with terms if they don't have any other offers on the table. But the home that just hit the market and is already getting a ton of interest, this may not be on the market for long. If it's your dream home, it's probably not the best strategy to send in an offer that may insult the seller right off the bat. The second issue I see with buyers is that they just take too long to go after the home of their dreams. They look at 50 houses and then finally find the one that is perfect for them, but then they sort of overanalyze everything and second guess themselves, saying stuff like, well, we're not in a hurry. That's sometimes when another buyer swoops in to make an offer. The best homes, the ones that are priced right, are still selling, and I'm still seeing multiple offers in some instances. So the strategy right now is be patient, but be ready, because when the right opportunity shows up, you still need to act appropriately. I'm seeing some mistakes from sellers right now too. I'm seeing sellers pricing their home based on what their neighbor sold their house for 2 years, 1 year, even 6 months ago, instead of taking into account today's comps. And I'm also seeing sellers who purchased their home 2 or 3 or 4 years ago, pricing their homes based on what they paid for it, plus what they put into it, plus a little bit more to make up for closing costs and realtor fees. The problem is that prices haven't gone up much in that time. So if you paid $600,000 for your home 3 years ago, and you put in a new HVAC unit and a bunch of nice landscaping, maybe new carpet, you unfortunately may not be able to sell the home for a whole lot more than $600,000, depending on the area of town you live in. It's just the market. Make sure that when you list your home, your pricing is strategic from day one, your presentation and marketing is strong, and be certain to understand your real competition. And that certainly includes new construction. As a quick summary of last month's numbers taken directly from Southern Arizona's MLS. May of 2026 saw 1,547 properties sold in Southern Arizona, but that was down 1.6% from the previous year. However, we also had 1,953 new homes hit the market, meaning that 400 more homes hit the market than were sold. Price per square foot is coming in at $225 in Southern Arizona, but that's down by 1.7% from the previous year. In summary, what's really happening in Tucson right now? More inventory, more competition for sellers, and more negotiation between parties. This isn't a crash, it's a shift. And in markets like this, the advantage goes to the people who understand what's actually happening, not what they heard 6 months ago. I hope you've learned a little today about what's really happening in the Tucson real estate market here in mid-2026 and why it's starting to favor buyers. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in Tucson real estate, I'd love to help you out. All my contact information is in the description below each of the over 1,000 videos on this YouTube channel, with each video discussing Tucson areas, neighborhoods, restaurants, businesses, things to do, and what it's really like to be living in this city. So explore those after this. I am a born and raised Tucsonan who works all over the city and suburbs, and I love introducing newcomers to my city. Comment below with a topic or neighborhood you'd like to see featured next, and if you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing on your way out the door. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in the next Tucson video or when we go to buy or sell a home together.